Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Sometimes you feel like smacking the little guys because the little guys are too noisy and the little guys try to be more important than they are, and they are annoying. At least that's the way I did when I was much younger. So what do we have here? Unfortunately, the Baltic states, Poland, and other Eastern European countries want to attack Russia preemptively. They want a preemptive strike on Russia. I wonder if they want it with their troops and their military capabilities or with someone else's strength and abilities. Well, that's one topic. The other topic has to do with Poland. And I will discuss what I think about Poland's intentions, who is Poland aligned with, and what do they want. Two things in this video, two things. One, Poland doubles or wants to double its military size, the army. It wants from 250,000 to 500,000 or something. Why? Well, that goes with what I think about what Poland wants. And that has to do with frustration. Now, don't be upset with me. I will make my point and my case. And the second one related to the Poles. Okay? Oh, victory. The other one is Poland wants nuclear weapons. Now, we're going to discuss that too. Should they have it or they shouldn't? Because if Poland can have it, then Iran can have it. If Poland can have it, I don't know, Afghanistan can have it, or Albania, or any country. Am I against that? Doesn't really matter if I'm against. The problem is in the whole context of this planet right here. Is it going to benefit, I don't know, only the Poles? And you might say, who cares? So let's discuss this one. But before I go there, I have to tell you that I made a video, I don't know, about 2 years ago, when it was a retired Polish general who said that we want nuclear weapons, we should have nuclear weapons. And when I said that, some people commented that he's a retired guy, just ignore him, he's not part of any government, he's just talking, My friends, where is smoke, there's a fire, right? Not a fart, a fire. So let's start with the first article coming from the evil Russians. It is from March 8th, 2025. Polish Prime Minister plans to double size of army. Donald Tusk also wants to boost the country's military arsenal, including nuclear weapons. I made a video maybe 2 days ago pointing out who are the real victors in Ukraine. And they are winning regardless if it has a war in Ukraine, because they prepared their little victory lap after the war by having these baboons in Europe arming themselves, that is making commands, orders to buy more weapons for the guys, from the guys who were part of the politicians who were for supplying Ukraine with weapons. So they will win, they won with supplying, and they will win when that ends by supplying these guys because of the boogeyman Putin. So it's not only Poland, Germany, United Kingdom, France, all these guys want to double, make more weapons. Someone else is going to make the weapons for them, some businesses, and they're going to borrow money in the name of their countries to buy them. So let's see what Tusk says. Tusk is not the Americans' boy. Duda might be the Americans' boy, but Tusk is not. Tusk is like a little dog, wants a little bit of appreciation, give him a piece of sugar, a cube of sugar, and then send him out to poop and whatever he does in the yard. Let's see. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has unveiled plans to more than double the size of the country's military to 500,000. Why? Because these guys have to be trained, these guys have to be armed, these guys have to be clothed, fed. Who's going to pay for that? Well, first they're going to be the taxpayers of Poland, and then they will not be able to do that. Who's going to do that? Their government, the guys that, the elected officials, will borrow the money. with interest. And then you will be taxed more to pay for something because they told you there's a boogeyman over there in the Kremlin. And if it's not in Kremlin, maybe it's in Tehran. If it's not in Tehran, it's in Pyongyang. If it's not in Pyongyang, it's in Beijing. If it's not in Beijing, could be in Washington, D.C. They will make up whatever they want. And the people are the biggest strata of in society is the strata of the cowards. We're all cowards to begin with, or more or less. But then we become how? Courageous? By experiencing things, exposing ourselves, knowing our limitations, knowing the world's limitations, and then you realize what's going to be here. But if you don't know anything about anything, you're scared of everything. You're scared. Unknown is more scary or scarier than known thing. Oh, it's going to nuke me. Okay, that means nuke. Okay, but if I say I'm going to hurt you, oh my God, what is he going to do? Is my ass plugged? Okay, I'm good, man. I'm not afraid. All right. Just kidding. Let's move on. Speaking in the Polish parliament on Friday, Tusk said Poland must be prepared for future conflicts and strengthen its defense. With whom? I suggest, as a bad person that I am, he talks about Germany. He might talk about maybe, I don't know, Slovakia, maybe Belarus, maybe Kaliningrad, Russia. Maybe he wants something even from Ukraine. Maybe he wants something from Romania, maybe Moldova, maybe Hungary, part of it. I mean, why? And that goes with the frustration point that I will make later. All right, let's go. Tusk reiterated his earlier claims that Russia poses a threat to Europe, saying Moscow could the same thing, could launch a full-scale operation against a larger target than Ukraine. Well, you could start it against, as I said, the Germans. Why? You ask the German government for $1.3 trillion reparations for the Second World War still. And the Germans said, back off, we already paid it in the 1960s. So maybe they want to attack, they're preparing for attack on Germany. Remember, Germany is baboonish, doesn't have an army, they're not allowed to have it anyway. They have the Americans occupying them anyway. So right there, it could, when you see could, anything could. He argued that Poland must serve as a bastion to protect NATO's eastern flank, if NATO will be still there, and should expand its military capabilities. And I'm quoting, "We are talking about the need to have an army of 500,000 in Poland, including the reservists," he stated, noting that Poland's current armed forces number around 200,000, which he compared to Russia's estimated of 1.3 million troops. But Russia has 145 million people, you have about 42 million people, if I remember correctly. Okay, so that is what? Not even 1/3, 1/4? And you want what? You want 500,000 to 1.3 million? Anyway, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not against that. Tusk said his government is drafting legislation that would require every adult male in Poland to undergo large-scale military training. I'm for that. But I would also make it voluntary. Why? Well, I think if you want to participate, it should be on your own accord. If you don't want to, what are you going to do? Oh, we want to make you. Why? Social contract. So remember, if they do this, they will send you to war as well. And I'm quoting, "We will try to have a model ready by the end of this year so that every adult male in Poland is trained in event of war, so that this reserve is comparable and adequate to the potential threats." Possible, okay. "Polish women may also be required to undergo military training. War is still a great extent to the domain of men." All right, well, what can you do? In addition to larger army, Tusk said Poland must enhance its military capabilities, including through the acquisition of nuclear and modern unconventional weapons from Western companies. All right, let's see what's going on here. Russia Today. Poland should have its own nukes. Prime Minister Donald Tusk made a statement just a day after calling for an arms race against Russia. And let's see what he says, right? I mean, let's have the direct quotation. "Poland needs to pursue the most modern capabilities related to nuclear weapons, as well as modern unconventional weapons," he stated. Is it clear? I think it's clear. What do you think? Warsaw does not care about being criticized over his military buildup until this guy tells them back the fuck off. All right, so that's the thing. You got a boogeyman over there. He could attack you, therefore potentially we're gonna be subdued. Therefore we have to be ready. First, Poland can do whatever they want. Now, if they want nuclear weapons, I think they should have, as long as the United States of America has it. So if the Americans have nuclear weapons, and it's based on we are, how do you call it? What's that word? I can't remember. But anyway, the hell is a brain fart. Responsible. So since we are responsible, that's the whole point. They say we are responsible and we don't want the proliferation because you baboons cannot be trusted like us. But hey, we are the only ones dropping 2 of them atomic bombs, okay? How does that work? So if Poland gets it, why not the countries I mentioned? Let's go to the last piece of another topic here. Russia Today. Eastern European politicians discussing preemptive attack on Russia. I have a map to show you the countries. The EU countries closest to Russia see it as an existential threat. Boogeyman. The Financial Times columnist has reported. And that person is a, I don't want to say agent, operative. Several countries in Eastern Europe are considering a preemptive strike against Russia. And Russia is, bring it on, baby doll. We've been waiting for a little reason to smack you around. According to Financial Times columnist Simon Cooper. Oh my God. Simon, what are you? Are you one of them? Let me check and see if I find this guy. Here he is. I didn't find more information to see his ethnicity, but I kind of guess who he is. I don't have any evidence. Let's start with that one. But I was looking. This is the guy who wrote about this. All right. He said they should, because why? Existential threat. So Russia, a Europe country, sees it. He just reported. That's it. But he cites sources. Let's see. According to Cooper, the perceived pivot towards Moscow by US President Donald Trump has brought back the geopolitical distinctions of the Cold War. Geographical distinctions of the Cold War, namely the idea of Eastern Europe and Western Europe, where one sees Russia as an existential threat and the other isn't that bothered. And I'm quoting, we know that's why some of our countries are asking, why don't we attack Russia now, instead of sitting waiting for it to attack us, an unnamed prominent Eastern European politician said without elaborating. I want to know who that person is. Show your balls right now. No. Who's we? Who's we? And who's we? I want to know. Always ask. Since the escalation, countries in Eastern Europe were historical pop. Let's see, who could that be? And they mentioned Kaja Kallas, they mentioned Poles, they mentioned the Czechs. The report said in response, Trump. Oh, who are those? I want to know. Where are those countries? I want to see. The European Union gets disarmed. I'm still looking to see the names. The countries. You have the Baltic, right? Since the escalation of the Ukrainian war, Poland and the Baltic states have claimed that it allowed to win. That if allowed to win, Russia might attack them next. Moscow has considered denied the claims, with President Putin described as a nonsense, which I think it is. They barely will win in Ukraine and they're going to attack you, please. They want more enemies. So Poland and Baltic states. Let me show you a map. It's a map of Europe, right? So this is Russia. And the Eastern Europe is kind of like from here. I know these guys want to consider themselves Central Europeans, with Poland and Slovakia, Czech Republic, but they are Eastern Europe, so you can cut it right here. Boom. From here, this is with the Balkans, the Eastern Europe, the former, whatever, this. So who could that be? Romania? Preemptive strike? Poland? Lithuania? Latvia? Estonia? Slovakia? Slovakia doesn't want it. Slovakia is okay. Hungary is okay. Czech Republic. So it's a Czech Republic, Poland. Czech Republic, I think, is like 10 million people or something, if about that one. These guys, 42 million. These guys all together, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, are, brace yourselves, 6.1 million people. So the Poles want what? Probably they want part of here. They definitely want that. Definitely want that. Definitely want that. And they're going to go down here. Why? I'm going to show you. Poland is frustrated. So these guys want to attack, let them do it. And I guarantee you they will come home with their balls in their mouth. Why? They have no balls. So what do we have here? Poland at one point with Lithuania had the so-called, not so-called, it was called the Lithuanian-Polish Commonwealth. And they owned, brace yourselves right here, see my cursor? All this right here. All this, so part of Belarus, right there, Belarus. Ukraine, half of it almost, part of here, until the Black Sea, they were right here. They attacked Romania many times, the Poles, but hey, they are the defensive. So the Poles probably think this is theirs, with Lviv, right here. Maybe they think part of Romania is theirs, definitely part of Slovakia and Czech Republic, and probably even Hungary. Why? And all of this, why? Because one time in their history, they owned certain territories. So they think we grabbed them and they were ours for some time. And then we said, we want them back. So is it the reason why they want to arm? I suspect yes. Do I think they're going to attack Slovakia and Czech Republic? It could happen. And I'm going to give you one example. I made a video maybe a week and a half ago when Putin explains to the Poles what they did with the Nazis in Czechoslovakia. So when the Nazis entered to take the Sudetenlanden, in the west of Czechoslovakia, to protect their, connationals, the ethnic Germans over there from the evil Czechoslovakians at that time. They had an agreement, the Nazis had an agreement with Poland. And when they entered and they start taking everything, Poland entered in the north and got some of its territory from Czechoslovakia. So they did it before. What do you think makes you think that they will not do it again? Now, regarding nuclear weapons, I already clarified that. They will not be allowed, but they're talking tough. Regarding a preemptive attack on Russia, it ain't gonna happen. Why? They know exactly what I said. The Russians are waiting. Come. And they will say, okay, I'm coming right now. Thank you very much for being with me again today. But these are the people who want peace. I think Poland is very frustrated. The Baltic states as well. I'm talking about not necessarily the population, but some elites. It's very interesting that they're not upset with definitely the people behind Soviet Union that grabbed half of their country. Because if you look at Soviet Union, who were in charge of Soviet Union when they got invaded by Soviet Union, right, in the Second World War, they will find wrong names and they will not tell Netanyahu to stay outside of Auschwitz and do not come and visit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just.